Hello students, welcome to our today's lesson. Today with this video we will start class 12 physics chapter 7 named as alternating current. Okay, so first we have to know what is alternating current. So first alternating current. So what is alternating current? An alternating quantity, like it may be current or it may be voltage. So an alternating quantity is one whose magnitude changes continuously with time between 0 and a maximum value and whose direction reverses periodically. Clear? I repeat, an alternating quantity is one whose magnitude changes continuously with time between 0 and a maximum value and whose direction reverses periodically. So I am writing here an alternating quantity it may be current or it may be voltage V. So we define current or we denote current by the symbol I and the voltage by the symbol V, is one whose magnitude changes continuously with time between 0 and a maximum value and whose direction reverses periodically. So if we draw one diagram for alternating current, like if we draw, suppose we are drawing voltage and current across a resistor versus time. So in x-axis if we put time and in y-axis if we put current or voltage, then I am drawing for current first. So we will get this type of characteristics. So suppose this one is for current. So this value is maximum. We are writing this by Im. Im means maximum. So this is the value for current. Now in the same way if we draw for voltage, we will get this type of characteristics. So this is for voltage, this is for current. Clear? So this is basically sinusoidal sinusoidal characteristics. Okay. Now when a coil is rotated rapidly in a strong magnetic field, what happens? Magnetic flux linked with the coil changes. As a result, an EMF is induced in the coil and induced current flows through the circuit. This voltage and current are known as alternating voltage and current. So alternating current or voltage varying as sine function can be written as, we are drawing for alternating voltage and current this diagram with time, and alternating current or voltage varying as sine function, and we can write it as I is equals to I naught sine omega t. Okay, and we can write for V is equals to V naught sine omega t. Now if we want to discuss more about alternating current, so we can say that We have seen how an AC generator produces an alternating EMF or voltage, that varies sinusoidally with time. Such a voltage is called an AC voltage, and the current driven by it in a circuit is called the AC current. The electrical main supply in our homes in an AC voltage, and most of the electrical appliances we use today require AC voltage. The main reason for preferring use of AC voltage to DC voltage is that an AC voltage can be changed conveniently and efficiently to either higher or lower amplitudes by means of a transformer. We will now study the basic principles of alternating current. That means alternating current we can write as AC, okay, and direct current we can write DC or direct current. So we will now study the basic principles of alternating current circuits. We begin by examining the characteristics of circuits containing a source of EMF and a single circuit element. That means a resistor or a capacitor or an inductor. Then we will examine the cases when these elements are connected in combination with each other. Okay, so now we will discuss about a resistor in an AC circuit. A resistor in an AC circuit. For this we have to draw one diagram. So this is our resistor R, then it is connected with a source, variable source. Suppose V is equals to Vm sin omega t. So we consider the simple circuit consisting of a resistor and an AC generator designed by the symbol. By this symbol we denote the AC generator. Okay, suppose the output of the AC generator is sinusoidal and varies with time according as V is equals to Vm sin omega t. So I am writing here, suppose the output of the AC generator is sinusoidal and varies with time according as V is equals to Vm sin omega t. Give this equation number 1. Okay. Here what is V? V is the instantaneous voltage. So this where V is equals to instantaneous voltage. And what is Vm? Vm is the amplitude or peak value of the oscillating voltage. Amplitude or peak value of oscillating voltage. And what is this omega? Omega is equals to angular frequency. omega is equals to angular frequency at which the voltage changes. Now, if this sinusoidal voltage is applied to the resistor of resistance R, this is our resistor of resistance R. So, if this sinusoidal voltage is applied to the resistor of resistance R, the instantaneous current in the resistor is, so what we know from Ohm's law? From Ohm's law we know V is equals to IR. So from this equation, what we can write? I is equals to what? I is equals to V divided by R. We can write from this equation I is equals to V divided by R. So according to this equation, what is the value of V? V is equals to Vm sin omega t. So put the value of V here. So in place of V, we are putting Vm sin omega t. So R is R. So what we get? I is equals to Vm sin omega t by R. So this Vm by R, we can write it as Im. That means maximum value of current. So V, because we know V by R is equals to I. So Vm by R is equals to, we can write Im. So Im then sin omega t. Clear? Give this equation number 2. Okay. Now the maximum or peak current is evidently given by, what is the maximum or peak current? Im is equals to Vm by R. Just we write in equation number 2. So give this equation number 3. Now from equation 1 and 2, it indicates that the current varies with time in exactly the same manner as the voltage. Since the current and the voltage vary identically with time, reaching their maximum values at the same time, they are said to be in phase. I repeat, from equation 1 and 2, it indicates that the current varies with time in exactly the same manner as the voltage. Since the current and the voltage vary identically with time, reaching their maximum values at the same time, they are said to be in phase. Such a relationship is clearly shown in this figure. Now I am showing this figure. So this is our figure as we discussed earlier. From this figure, we can see that the current varies with time is in exactly the same manner as the voltage. Why it happens? It happens because the current and the voltage vary identically with time, reaching their maximum values at the same time. So when this situation happens, we can call these as they are in same phase. Okay. So this relationship we can understand by this figure. Now it can be noted that during one complete cycle, so what is one complete cycle? Suppose it starts from here and ends here. So from here to here, one complete cycle. So it can be noted that during one complete cycle, the current maintained in one direction for the same amount of time and the same magnitude as it is in the opposite direction. As a result, the average value of the current for a complete cycle or any number of complete cycles is 0. However, the direction of the current has no effect on the behavior of the resistor in the circuit, because what matters is the collision between electrons and the fixed atoms of the resistor. that results in an increase in the temperature of the resistor. Although this temperature increase depends on the magnitude of the current, it is independent of its direction. Clear? Okay. To discuss it quantitatively, we recall that the rate at which electrical energy is converted to heat in a resistor, which is the power P, and the power P is given by I square R. We know P is equals to I square R, where I is the instantaneous current in the resistor. Since the heating effect of a current is proportional to the square of the current, it makes no difference whether the current is direct or alternating. However, the heating effect produced by an alternating current having a maximum value of Im is not the same as that produced by direct current of the same value. Okay. As from this equation, you can say that P is proportional to I square. So, as P is proportional to I square, the average rate of production of heat by a varying current is proportional to the average value of the square of the current. The square root of the average value of the square of the current is called the root mean square or RMS current. I repeat, the square root of the average value of the square of the current is called the root mean square or RMS current. The RMS value of a current is equal to the magnitude of a steady direct current that would produce the same heating effect. What is of importance in an AC circuit is the RMS current. So now we are going to find out the RMS value of current or RMS current, IRMS. To find the value of the RMS current, IRMS, in terms of the maximum value of the alternating current, IM. So we are going to find out the IRMS in terms of IM, that means maximum current. We square the expression. So from previous expression we know I is equals to Im sin omega t. If we square this expression, what we will get? I square is equals to Im square sin square omega t. Now the average value of I square is the related to the average value of sin square omega 2, as so average value of I square, this is the average symbol, this average value of I square is equals to, we can write Im square and average value of sin square omega t. Now to calculate the average value of sin square omega t, we know that the time average of sin square omega t is equal to the time average of cos square omega t when taken over any number of complete cycle. That is, we can write average value of sin square omega t is equals to average value of cos square omega t. So using this relation in the trigonometric identity, that means sin square omega t plus cos square omega t is equals to what we know is equals to 1. So using this value in this equation or this trigonometric identity, we get sin square omega t plus cos square omega t is equals to 1. Then average value of sine square omega t plus average value of cos square omega t is equals to 2 average value of sine square omega t. Because from here we know sine square omega t is equals to average value of cos square omega t. So in place of this cos square omega t, we are putting this sine square omega t. So sine square omega t and sine square omega t is equals to 2 sine square omega t. Clear? So this average value is 1. From here we can write 1. So what is the average value of sine square omega t then? So from here we can write average value of sine square omega t is equals to 1 divided by 2. So 1 divided by 2, or we can write it half. So therefore we can write average value of I square is equals to I RMS square. Average value of I square is equals to I RMS square is equals to IM square by 2. IM square divided by 2. So which yields, from here we can write I RMS is equals to, so I RMS is equals to IM divided by root 2. IM divided by root 2 is equals to, so what is the value of 1 by root 2? 1 by root 2 is equals to 0.707, then IM. So IRMS is equals to 0.707 IM. This equation is important for your exam and for different mathematical problem. If you solve different mathematical problem, then also this equation is required. So in that way we can prove IRMS is equals to 0.701 IM. So sometimes this question is asked for 2 or 3 marks, and that show that IRMS is equals to 0.707 IM. Okay. So that's all for today. Thank you everyone.